What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another WARFRAME video. So, a couple days ago, went over how crazy the Helminth ability for Harrow, Condemn, is after its big buffs when Harrow Prime came out. And I was thinking, like, hey, can you guys maybe suggest some frames you think that Condemn could be good on? Because it's got to be frames that mod for a lot of range and all that. And I just didn't even think about Saryn at all. And here we are today. I'm going to be showing you Condemn Saryn. And it's actually really nice. It makes the game kind of too easy. Yeah, well, here's the build if you want to see it, though. So, before we get into it, make sure you're subbed to the channel so you can see when all the videos go up. And make sure you check out the live stream channel as well, because we've been live streaming a lot more recently. Alright, so, Condemn Saryn. If you don't know what this is, you didn't watch a video from a couple days ago, here's a quick, info dump for you. The ability from Harrow that you can take off of Harrow and put other frames is Condemn. It shoots out a wave of chains, and it was recently buffed to scale a lot harder with range. So if you mod for a lot of range in your build, you're going to be hitting the entire hallway and the hallway next to it. It also gives you shields for every enemy hit. And if you know anything about shield getting in this game, that once your shield gets to 0, you get like a brief period of invincibility. But once your shield goes all the way back up to 100% or even higher, you get that invincibility period back again. So with this, we can actually just chain invincibility over and over and over again. And the funny thing is, since we've got Saryn's corrosive spores, these will basically make a attack that will spread damage across the enemies, remove their armor, and also it scales up over time. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some spores in enemies so we can start increasing the damage of these spores. We're going to chain them up so they can just sit there and let the spores scale up. And then once we get kind of bored, we're just going to use our 4 and just destroy everything in the area. So this is not going to really nuke the steel path as hard as you would hope for, but it just gives you very good shield getting. It gives Saryn a second stun that also gets her shield getting back, because Miasma, her 4th ability, does stun the enemies as well, but it's another stun, just so you can cover the entire hallway in chains. And since we've got no Decaying Dragon Key, because I don't really do that, we've got a 300 shield. So hitting 2 enemies with this will give us full shields. You could go for a little bit more strength, but I do want to go for a lot of range in here just so I can cover the entire area. Also, don't forget how powerful Saryn's 3rd ability, Toxic Lash, is, giving you increased toxin damage and a separate hit of toxin damage. So, pretty standard build here for someone trying to run Condemn in the current build. So we just got a bunch of range, like all 3 of the big range mods. We could technically run the last range mod, but I'd rather just run a different mod in that slot. I have an Umbra form on Saryn, so we got Umbral Intensify here. Prime Continuity, you're going to want some duration. You could maybe take off Transient Fortitude for maybe Blind Rage or something like that. But it's hard. We don't have many power strength options, honestly. And this is one of them. It does give you minus duration, unfortunately. That's just how it is. Prime Flow for bigger energy pool. And Rolling Guard for invincibility. So, just like the Harrow video the other day, invincibility here, and shield getting for invincibility there. We've also got Vazarin, but Vazarin is complete overkill with how much invincibility we already have. So you can just take off Vazarin and go for like something else like Zenarek for increased energy regen, Naramon for combo, and all that stuff. The weapon we'll be using right now is the Zymos. It comes from Deimos. The Zymos from Deimos. And it's really good. Hit a headshot with this thing, it releases evil bees that just destroy everything. And let's just say that Galvanized Shot works pretty well with the bees. We've also got, so you would think like it doesn't have a lot of crit chance. The crit chance of the bees it scales really hard, alright? And then the Kana Prime came with Saryn Prime, not really a focus of the video, but we'll just quickly show it anyway, because I do swing it around in the Steel Path gameplay a little bit here. So, yeah, just Smite Grenier. I like Quickening because I'm not running Naramon. Then we got a range and crit damage ribbon. So let's just show how this works. With this build, I think the Condemn hits from like 60 meters. You know, let's just show some Steel Path gameplay to start off with, actually. The Simulacrum gameplay is not as important. It's basically just showing you how far the chain range is. So, yeah, this is the Steel Path, about 15 minutes in. Enemies about level 140 with, I think they have like doubled armor or something like that. So, chain them up. They're sitting there. You got, 1,500 over shields. And it's just very, very, very easy. As we mentioned in the previous video on Condemn, these chains, they stun Acolytes. They stun Demolus. And they stun basically everything. I think they even stun like Liches too. So, yeah, it's just really, really easy. The guy's right there. He's increased my spore damage. Saryn doesn't really seize the enemies this hard usually because the stun from Miasma is basically an after effect. This is a more stun-focused ability, but also gives us shield gating. We're replacing Saryn's second ability, Molt, which is like her defensive skill. And, you know, Molt is... Saryn's frame doesn't really need Helminth at all, because Molt is a very good defensive skill, but I like this actually more than Molt, at least for the situations I'm in right now. Now, Molt does give you increased movement speed, which is very valuable in this game, and this is like basically, this is normal speed Saryn, so you're not going to be like, you know, running around at max velocity like with Molt. But, you know, this is really good. I'm definitely going to probably try this, potentially against level 10,000 enemies in a disruption eventually. But yeah, Condemn, guys, Condemn got... you watched the video the other day, Condemn is crazy now. It hits things you wouldn't even expect it to hit, and here's the Acolyte just getting stunned as soon as he spawns. No, the Acolyte did turn to a water wave, but they'll die eventually. We could just re-stun them if we really felt like it, but we didn't even need to because they were already dead. So, yeah, it's good. Now, the other options for Saryn Helminth, of course, this is just for this build. I wouldn't say this is the only Helminth and Saryn at all. We'll have a how to play Saryn video coming out here pretty soon as well, because I want to get a refresher for some people who maybe just got Saryn for the first time, etc., etc. But as far as other Helminths, there's Roar to increase the damage of your abilities. A lot of people like Shooting Gallery, with the augment, which will blind enemies in the area when you kill enough of them. We've got, you know, Ensnare and Saryn. This probably replaces Ensnare and Saryn, to be honest. If you ever ran Ensnare and Saryn for the anti-Corpus Lich loadout from like months and months ago, I'd say replace Ensnare with Condemn going forward, just because it's really good. And the list goes on and on. Like, you can definitely run lots of different stuff because she doesn't even need it in the first place. So, yeah. Let's just quickly show how far the chains do go in the Simulacrum, just so you can get a feel for how much range this will give you. Maybe you might think you want less range. Maybe you want more range. It's going to really be up to personal preference. So, we're going to summon some Bombards here. Summon at 20 of them. It's very easy to tell when a Bombard is chained from across the map. And we do have the Panzervolpaphyla in here, giving us more viral procs. And of course, you could run different weapons. I mean, any weapon would work. I was definitely feeling like I should have ran the Kubazar in this gameplay footage. I was focusing too much on the Zymos getting those headshots, but it's just so easy with the Condemn, chaining them up, just making them sitting ducks pretty much. Alright, so we are in the Simulacrum. We have summoned the Chumps, and let's see how far the range of the ability says because the more... This ability screen is deceptive. It's telling us it's going to be 53 meters, but that does expand the longer the wave is going. So 53 meters, we're gonna mark the furthest away enemy, and let's try it about 60 meters. If it goes further than 60 meters, that's when you know math is hard. All right, 60 meters. Wrong button. All right, 60 meters. And 60 meters is good, so you're having a 60 meter plus wave of crowd control. Let's try it a little bit further this time. We're at 75. All right. I think the chain has just worn off, so let's try to hit him from 75 meters. When the ability says 53. And it looks like it did hit him, so we're talking real far. This is, I don't think we can actually test any further than this. This is the furthest in the corner I can go. 84 meters. If it hits this far, make sure you hit that like button, okay? If it doesn't hit that far, make sure you comment. If you like the channel, just do both. And it did not hit, so make sure you put that comment down below about what you had for lunch today. Alright guys, hope you found the video helpful. I'll talk to you next time, and take it easy. Peace.